Hey Jamila, I can hear you.
Can you hear
So
me?
yes, I believe maybe with a little bit of noise, but it's okay. We can understand. So okay, let's get started. So the call gets recorded. Let me just check if it's recording. Yeah. So welcome everyone to the Kleros community call. Today is July the 3rd. And we have a special guest today, Jamila, our PhD researcher, and I wanted her to tell you a bit about uh, what are you working on. What are you working on? I know that you like today that there was a book published by Blockchain Gov, right? And there was also the manual about creating DAOs and an event that you attended. So if you can talk a little bit about this, it would be great.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry for the noise in between the trains, but I'll try to limit the noise coming in to the mic. So yes, so the latest research updates is that I've been at WOW7, which is conference which is held every 5 years in Indiana, Bloomington, and at Eleanor and Vincent Ostrom Workshop, and it's been amazing. Wonderful experience, and I presented my research there. My second chapter of my thesis that is dedicated to basically decentralized communities and how dispute resolution can help governing blockchain commons. That is in short. I'm working right now on the paper. It's under peer review, and hopefully I'll be able to share it soon. So you've mentioned two other things that we are doing together with Blockchain Golf. One is a cookbook on governance. We did that together in collaboration with Project Liberty, and it's available right now. Our team, Blockchain Golf, together with my wonderful colleagues, Sofia Casar, who was our project manager in that particular project, and Daramerk, and Primavera de Filipe, and Morshed, and Kelsey. It's been a long road, and finally the book is out, so I invite you to check it out if you haven't already. And the second report, it was published today, again with Blockchain Golf, but that is our internal report based on the reading group sessions that we've had for the past, I don't know, more than a year, I would say. So if you're interested in polycentric governance, I really do urge you to take a look, because I think it's quite interesting, and it definitely overlaps with Ostrom's workshop that I've just mentioned. If you've ever heard or referenced Ostrom's work and management of common pool resources, I think you would find that interesting and relevant. So that is that. And tomorrow I'm leaving to DAO 24, which is a conference in Switzerland, where I'm hoping to present my research yet again, but third chapter now of my thesis, which will be dedicated to dispute resolution, Kleros specifically, and regulatory equivalence. So we'll try to see and tackle the problem of, Kleros and other dispute resolution tools on blockchain alike having hard time trying to figure out where do they fit from the standpoint of regulation. So that's what we'll try to do, and together with my colleagues we'll have 2-day conference. So yeah, I'm really really looking forward to it. Sorry, I'm commuting, I'm in between trains, hence the noise, but I hope I was clear enough.
Yes, I just have one question about the Ostrom workshop. Were there any other blockchain-based projects involved, or was Kleros the only one? And uh, th- uh, were there talks about are people looking for adopting blockchain technology to solve these issues? Like, what was their opinion about it?
So the workshop itself is dedicated into to different topics of commons, and there were different works presented on natural commons, digital commons, well, blockchain commons. We had our own panel together with Metagov, and there were several papers by colleagues from MIT University as well, from my colleagues from Blockchain Gov. So we had this like little crypto panel, and there were different researchers. But it wasn't the main overarching theme. It was just different streamlines during that conference, different panels at the same time. So ours just happened to be one of them. But so there were people who were doing research in commons management, but who have never heard or maybe not that familiar with blockchain. So it was very interesting because to basically learn from each other and to see how many overlapping principles there are. Because, well, just very quick, natural commons and Eleanor Nostrom's work has influenced digital commons or like open source, knowledge commons, and now that has also led to research on blockchain commons, peer-to-peer system. So it's all interconnected, but it's not specifically blockchain conference. However, we did have a lot of interesting discussions with colleagues that research, for example, Wikipedia and other open source networks, and that was quite interesting. So I definitely presented Kleros there, answered many interesting questions, definitely had a lot of feedback. And you know how it goes usually when you focus on just blockchain research, sometimes you just like overlook certain other aspects. So that was very helpful for me to also have different points of view. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It wasn't blockchain
Yes.
specifically dedicated, but it was a lot of fun.
Yes, I think that's very nice that we participate on conferences that are not mainly about blockchain because well we do not live in the Web3 bubble. we live on the real world, and there Kleros can be useful for other things apart from crypto, right? So that's nice. Okay, thanks a lot, Jamilia. Sorry for the interrupting your travel.
That is
So
absolutely fine. I'm so sorry for the noise, and I'll have to run right now. Unfortunately, I think my internet will cut off. But yeah, anytime. And if you're interested in any of the topics I've mentioned, please do reach out. I'm always looking for collaboration and always, always happy to connect.
perfect. Well, thanks a lot. Well, William, since we're talking about research, I know that your research also touches a little bit of uh, what was discussed on the Ostrom workshop, but in a different way. But can you tell me can you tell us what you have been working on? Sorry, I don't know if you have.
Yep.
Okay,
Can
now
you hear
you
me?
can talk.
Great,
Yes, I
thanks.
can hear you.
Yeah, so I'm wrapping up for my talk next week at ECC. So I'm going to be talking about stall-bound token weighting mechanisms. So these are similar to some of the things I wrote about in a blog article a few months ago, where really I'm going to try to draw a parallel between this idea that we have of using stall-bound tokens to weight juror drawing in Kleros, so that in some courts, people may only be drawn at all if they have some stall-bound token that just has some kind of relevant expertise. This gives like an extra mechanism to make sure the jurors are qualified to judge the cases that they're considering. But then also you can consider like if you have like several different types of expertise that are relevant for a case, how you might draw people in such a way that you're likely to get a mix of expertise, so that people with rare sort of qualifications, stall-bound tokens that attest to like, you know, online courses they've taken, or you know, the expertise that they have that they sort of attest to a curated list, how then you can draw to get a variety of these kinds of these profiles. So I'm really going to try to draw a parallel between sort of these ideas for Kleros and like the same ideas applied to quadratic funding, which is really where our inspiration comes from. If you've sort of heard me talk about this before, I read the blog article from a few months ago. We're drawing a lot from work of Glenn Weil and his collaborators that looked at how to make quadratic funding more plural, where people that sort of from different communities contribute to a sort of common good funding are weighted more or less based on if they sort of seem to have different points of view. And it's really interesting that like a lot of common ideas are present in the two applications, and then also there are some interesting differences. So I'm going to hit on those and try to like dig philosophically into like what it is about these two applications that's causing this potentially are there other applications that these ideas could be applied to? And then, like there are sort of interesting math ideas around essentially there's like a clustering algorithm that like you do kind of in the core of the math that you do. So then there are questions like what clustering algorithm? If you use like a modern clustering algorithm, like spectral clustering or something, what does that do? And can you get into problems where you have data poisoning, where like if you have what's essentially like a simple AI being conducted in a blockchain environment, is it easy to manipulate for an attacker? Questions like this. So I invite you all to watch the talk next week as I give you the state of the art on this research.
Awesome. Yeah. By any chance, do you know if there are any quadratic funding platforms that already use these algorithms to identify clusters, or is that?
I'm not sure if there are any that are sort of like large scale, like I don't think Gitcoin does this yet, but just as like an anecdote, like Glenn Weil and his collaborators organized a conference like a little while ago, where among other things they gave a grant to people who presented that had sort of interesting research, and they used the clustering weighting for their own internal grant giving. But in terms of mainstream, larger in the blockchain environment, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see when that happens and how this plays out in real life, right?
Yeah.
And there's one thing that will be interesting to see as well is that proof of humanity v2 is very advanced. We don't have like an exact date, but it's coming very, very soon. And then we will have probably very close implementation to what is a soulbound token or soulbound ID. Have you thought about how to like get more data into this, like linked to the soulbound IDs, or do you think, is there any example that you have for that we could maybe build, or maybe someone can build over proof of humanity v2?
More data in the sense of rich soulbound tokens that attest to different people's sort of things about their identity, you mean?
Yes, exactly. Like richer.
Yeah, so the best idea that I have for sort of that's Kleros centric that that would make sense for us to build, and I sort of alluded to this in my spiel for a few minutes ago, is that you could have curated lists that grant soulbound tokens. So if someone wants a soulbound token for some reason, they could argue to a curated list that I have this expertise, please give me this soulbound token, and then they provide their sort of portfolio or whatever to make that argument. So that's certainly a role that Kleros could play in attribution of soulbound tokens. It's pretty flexible. Not every sort of qualification could necessarily be attributed like that, but many could. Then sort of the question is, like, you have a chicken and egg problem where it doesn't make sense for people to go out of their effort in way to get these soulbound tokens until they're applications that are soulbound token conscient. So once you have Kleros courts that weight by soulbound tokens, like maybe they would be incentivized to submit themselves to these kinds of lists. If there are other applications that use soulbound tokens, if we have one of these quadratic funding program protocols that incorporates this and then it becomes big and has lots of traction, then maybe they would want to get these tokens. So there's a bootstrapping problem here, and that it's hard to build a soulbound token conscious application until people have soulbound tokens, and people aren't going to bother to get them until they have use. But you can build up.
Interesting. Yeah, I know that we will be, like, some of us will be attending a conference by Gitcoin. I don't know if it's by Gitcoin, but Gitcoin is involved. So I know Guamian is attending. So it would be nice if we could at least talk a little bit about this and see if there's any potential pilot program or something like that we could do to
totally
test these things out. Okay, Marcos, I don't know if you can accept the request. I'm sending the request. I don't know if you can speak. But about the ETC, apart from William's talk, we have a talk by Federico about DAO governance, and another one with by Clement about prediction markets and how they can be used to give social insights. And right now we are currently running a prediction contest campaign with Forland. Forland is a platform developed by Polka Markets, and it's pretty friendly to use. It doesn't require any money upfront. You just log into the platform. You get some play tokens to make your predictions. This contest that we are running is about the French legislative elections that started last weekend, and they will go until there's like a second round this weekend, and maybe there will be another round, but probably it will be finished this weekend. And the people that have the best performance, that made the best guesses, or actually you can kind of trade inside the platform, like the options that you select. Well, the people that get the best options can get some prizes in the Kleros token. So I really recommend trying it out. There's still, I believe, 4 days until the campaign ends. But since there are a couple of questions open, we opened the new questions today. So really recommend trying. It's less than 5 minutes, and there's no cost. Okay, so apart from Clement talk about prediction markets, we have Bambian and Alex with workshop. Yes.
Sorry, I was speaking before, but I think I was mute.
Yes.
I don't know what you mentioned about the video updates, but if you didn't say nothing about Cordoba, I can say a few words, because sorry, before I'm in the airport in a few minutes, I'm leaving. So
okay, yep. Just let me finish one thing. Is
sure,
that
go ahead.
the Guamian and Alex will be giving a workshop about how to set up a DAO according to people's needs. So there will be kind of a interview, like a quiz with people from the audience, and there will be different setups that will be recommended. And of course, at Kleros, we have right now a couple of different options where people can use. There's the Kleros SafeSnap, there's the Kleros Governor, and depending on the DAO, depending how people want to set up their governance process, there are different settings that they can do. Okay, go ahead, Marcos.
Yep. So, well, there are not too many updates from the VD team, as a few of us are flying to the TC this week. But well, last week we were in Cordoba, Argentina. We were presenting Kleros, actually the integration with the guys of Lemon in the Justice Palace of Cordoba. It was a really good event. The guys of Lemon were really happy with us. The audience was really happy. A lot of questions about how Kleros works. Some of them asking about how to buy PNK and be a juror. So it was a complete success, the event. And well, then from the VD team, we have, I think, the Alex updates that you were mentioning. And then, we are still talking with Mendoza and with the guys with Mendoza and a few other potential integrations that we will have some updates in the next weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to be uploading, I think, 2 new cases during this week. We still have to, the Lemon users still have to complete their documents. But when this is finished, I will upload 2 new Lemon cases.
Nice. Yep. I think there were maybe 7 Lemon cases in the last 10 days or something, right? Since we made the official announcement. So that's
yeah, exactly.
It's great to see that the volume is growing, and it helps also to get other similar integrations, which I think we can say, right, Marcos, that that's your focus now at Kleros, right? Look for
Yes, of
integrations
course.
like this.
Exactly. Yep. Yes.
Cool. So just one more thing that I would like to talk about is the integration that we have with ShutterDAO. Shutter is a protocol that provides a encryption service that can be used, for example, for private voting, but it also there's a launch that will be made next week about encrypting transactions before they are published on the blockchain, just to put it in a simple way, for Gnosis chain, which makes which is a huge deal, because this is a problem with DeFi applications, where if you post your transactions before they are included in the block in the blocks, maybe there will be some other actors that can take advantage of that. It's called MEV. So this protocol, they have a governance set up where the keepers are already being maintained by a Kleros, by a setup that uses Kleros. And right now there will be a sub DAO on ShutterDAO. That this is the vote that happened last week, and we worked on a process that integrates with Fractal, which is now called Decent, to use Kleros on this sub-DAO with the Kleros Snap solution. So for now, even small votes can be made on the snapshot page of Shutter, and the results of these votes will be implemented on chain with the Kleros setup. So this is very nice, because it doesn't that means that this sub-DAO of Shutter will not use any multi-sig. It will not be like permissioned. It will be completely completely trustless. It will the process will be automatized. So that's a huge another great step for Kleros, because it's another DAO using our services. And I would like Alex to join us on maybe next week or in the next one, to talk about more in detail about this integration, because it involved the whole team, because it had, of course, lots of technical developments that we had to make to integrate this with the Decent implementation. And also Facundo was involved to help create a good policy to make sure that the votes are accepted properly, and there's nothing wrong with the challenge process, if in case there's a challenge. And I know that JB was very involved with this, and also maybe someone that you haven't heard about. There's someone called Francisco working with us now, and now that I think about it, we should have him as a guest to our community call in the following weeks. Okay, so I think that's the main events that we had. that we will have the next couple of days. So a big part of the team is currently preparing to go to Brussels for ETC or traveling. That's why Federico is not here with us now. So if you don't see us on the chat, then you should understand that that's what's happening. Okay, so I don't know if there's anything else that we can share. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so. So we can finish here. Thanks a lot, William and Marcos, for coming, and see you in Brussels very soon.
Yep.
See you there.
See you in a few days in the other part of the world.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye bye.